It's like when there's an awkward pause and then you just zoom in on everyone's faces and they're all doing something like.
Hello everyone! We're the Aetherial Croissants.
I'm Giselle.
And I'm Klara.
And today we're gonna play Kyle is Famous. I don't know what this game is about. I assume it's about a guy called Kyle.
He wakes up and he is famous.
Mm-hmm. He is the host of the most popular talk show in recent memory, Stay Up Late with Kyle.
Wow. Tonight is Kyle's most important guest interview yet.
Stay Up Late with Kyle will be featuring Rachel May. She is a kind and lovely philanthropist.
She is dear to the hearts of many. The interview requires preparation.
Kyle cracked his eyes open, knowing today is his last chance to prepare for the interview.
Dun dun dun! Kyle has 30 hours left. He must choose his actions wisely. Mm-hmm. So is it like an what do you call that, choice-making game?
I think so.
First decision of the morning was made wisely.
That's weird.
Yeah.
We withered successfully and died.
Oh, that's good.
Shucks. But 1 hour goes by every time we choose something.
Oh. I mean, our first choice was going to mess up his life, so okay. Would you like to continue?
Sure. Then let's sit at the desk. What's next?
Check the desk door. I want to know what is in there first, too.
Do we want the small key or sort of change?
What would you like?
I would like the small key.
Ooh! Oh my ghost!
I love how it takes us an hour to get back to our desk and sit down.
Can we check it again, or do you want to start writing notes for the interview?
Let's check again.
I started change. Back to desk. Back to room.
Let's scavenge.
Yeah.
Realizing his immediate need for...
Should we go with bugs? Oh no, I don't like it.
Kyle started to pick between the fuzz of his bedroom carpet, hoping to catch a stray beetle or two.
Why would you have a beetle at your home?
Can ghosts eat?
Depends on what type of ghost you're talking about, or what
theory we can scoop up the keys and a change, right?
If we can, then I think we can eat.
The thing is, I think if we choose save for later use, it's going to show up here.
Should we save it for the guest?
Oh, it's nice.
It doesn't show.
Yes, it does.
It's a squiggle.
Yeah. It's a bunch of squiggles.
Thank you.
Should we get the gossip or should we open the closet?
Oh! Closet. Let's go with the closet. It was dark.
And he could only really see his hanging shirts.
Choose an outfit.
You mean no hanging bodies?
Oh! Jeans and swimming goggles.
Skunk pasties.
Slick suit.
Or a suit of armor.
Suit of armor!
A ghost in a suit of armor.
Nice!
With a bunch of bugs.
But it felt like the right thing to do.
Aren't you a ghost? Can't you just change form?
We have 9 hours left.
Let's get the gossip.
Yeah.
All nights need gossip. I heard Rachel May is going on a trip out of the country soon.
Oh, girlfriend, tell me more.
Well, what I will tell you is that every night I don a mask that looks like a bug and fight misdoers.
There was a stunned silence. Then a door opened and someone exited the neighbor's apartment.
That's quite enough.
Isn't exit bedroom to hallway the only choice we have left now? Child lock door, leave apartment, move to kitchen. Can we move to the kitchen? Do we have food?
Food. Pantry.
Oh, we have to unlock with a small key.
All of our hard work is gone. Sitting across from his host chair was a glamorous woman with an air of genuinity.
Mm-hmm. As Kyle approached her, Rachel looked up and smiled.
Good evening, Kyle, she said, looking him in the eyes. I've been looking forward to being here.
Kyle responded, squinted circles.
Kyle started to stretch out his arms wide, tilted his neck upwards, and
more was interrupted by his producer telling him and Rachel that it was time to start the show.
Let's see. It's like the game isn't letting us screw up.
Yeah. Gossip about neighbors start podcast. Gossip.
It's gossip.
We have this choice. Good evening, everybody, said Kyle. My neighbor is a bug.
Vigilante.
Why would you say this?
With nothing more to say on the matter,
He fell silent.
Rachel, also on camera, stared at her hands and wondered when she was going to be introduced.
A moment later, the producer started cutting to different camera angles to break the tension.
It's like when there's an awkward pause and then you just zoom in on everyone's faces and they're all doing something like
Yeah.
and then every single one of them is doing that. Kyle continued to remain silent and stare forward blankly.
After several minutes, neighbor Gabby walked out onto set.
Hi everyone, she said, smiling hollowly. My name is Gabby, and I'm not a bug vigilante.
Are you sure? False. Kyle looked at Gabby and then returned to staring forwards.
You're a robot now.
Are we a ghost?
We changed from human to ghost and back to human, and now we're a robot.
Yeah.
Gabby began to reply, but was interrupted by a bug-shaped intercom on her belt.
Oh no! Bug girl! A robbery is in progress at the East 3rd. Report immediately.
Gabby threw the intercom on the ground and crushed it under her foot.
Awkward silence. After a beat, she spoke again. Something has come up suddenly, and I must go. Sure, take your time.
Gabby left the set.
Well, said Kyle, that's all the time we have for tonight. Thanks for joining us, Rachel.
You've been a wonderful guest. Kyle got up, shook Rachel's hand again, and walked past the cameras, leaving her alone.
Not knowing what else to do, the producer ended the broadcast.
In the coming days, fans of both Rachel and Kyle dubbed the show as a masterpiece of television.
Stay Up Late with Kyle's online pages were updated to reflect this broadcast as the most popular ever. Why?
Kyle's producer later tried to have Rachel on the show again, but she was very, very, very busy.
The end.
Our achievement was we talked about Gabby. A moment after the seating, The studio lights brightened and the cameras clicked on.
Good evening, everyone, said Kyle, looking at the camera. Welcome back to Stay Up Late with Kyle.
Tonight, I have the pleasure of interviewing the lovely Rachel May, who needs no more introduction.
Kyle mentioned to Rachel, who smiled and waved at the camera. Hello, Kyle, she said. I'm glad to be here.
Well, I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss, so we might as well dive right in, said Kyle.
I'm very ready, said Rachel with a winning smile.
Kyle produced the notes he had taken earlier.
Should we go with funniest story?
Yes.
You've been involved in a lot of different things, said Kyle, but what's your funniest story?
Well, that's a great question, Kyle, said Rachel.
I think the story I always remember is the first time I tried to make dinner for my family.
In the soup I made, I swapped out the water with milk and tipped the whole jar of salt in the pot.
While my family was sick from trying to eat it, I swiped the things and locked myself in my room.
Rachel laughed elegantly.
Kyle decided to move on.
Kyle asked another question. Which one? I think this one.
Okay.
We all have one. What's your guilty pleasure?
I'm sure it's only one. Ooh, well, that's an easy answer, said Rachel. Dipping pickles in chocolate sauce. Oh, wow. Are you going to try that?
No.
Okay.
It might sound strange, but it's tangy and sweet at the same time. I eat it far too often. Rachel smiled sweetly.
Kyle asked another question. Let's go with diet. Rachel, you managed to keep such a thin and healthy figure, said Kyle. What is your best diet tip?
Starve. Well, a good diet starts with a plan, answered Rachel, and don't break it. Cheat days can turn into a habit.
But, she continued, that doesn't mean a midnight snack here and there isn't allowed, she smiled.
Kyle looked at his flabby self, decided to not comment, and moved on.
Oh no. Rachel, I and many others would love to know, are you a mother? Cal looked up from his notes.
Well, being a single woman with a career, she answered, that's not something that has crossed my mind.
Rachel smiled genuinely at Kyle.
I like how all of the smiles have one word after it.
Yeah.
Very reasonable indeed, said Kyle. He referenced his paper of questions.
After reading his final question, Kyle looked up from his paper.
Well, Rachel, he said, I think that's all I was planning on asking you.
If that's the case, Kyle, may I ask you something in return? Asked Rachel, smiling one more time.
Do you prepare for your interviews in advance? Because you seem very together.
Compared to our first attempt. Before Kyle could answer, the cameras shut down. The broadcast was over.
Kyle returned home knowing the interview had gone well.
But as he lay in bed and drifted to sleep, he felt that perhaps something was still missing.
Rachel smiled, quickly turned to shock as she realized Kyle had not put on clothes that day.
Shouldn't we at least have pajamas?
Yeah. Are we like naked sleepers?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Why would he do that?
I'm sorry I ruined your life.
I would totally do that. I would make some excuse and exit the set.
Aww. So that was our attempt at Kyle is Famous.
I I usually don't really like pick your ending games, but this one was alright.
I feel so sorry for Rachel for needing to deal with the randomly going insane Kyle.
But she still handled it with as much grace as she possibly could.
Professionalism at its finest.
But, like, even still, it got kind of boring after a few tries.
I was expecting more, but oh well.
But we still hope you like the video.
We post every Tuesdays and Fridays.
Watch out for those.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
Of course.
Oh, God.
How do you have? We are dark.